Hi, John Mann here at MannMade USA. Today we are going to replace this bridge on a Fender American Stratocaster 2-point bridge, and we're going to replace it with a MannMade 2-point bridge right here. Comes with everything you need except for a few hand tools. When you open the box, the first thing you see will be this thing that says, "Important, read first. Watch the instructional video." So in here, it basically tells you everything you need to do and how you need to do it, in what order. What you need to do this bridge is a few simple hand tools. You'll need a straight screwdriver, a Phillips #1 screwdriver, a small straight screwdriver, needle nose pliers, some wire cutters, Allen wrenches, whether they be this like this or here. These are the same things. These are just fancier versions. And some kind of measuring tool. I use calipers. You could use a scale. Either way will work well. And I will be all for final adjusting things. So in the kit, you get your bridge. Nice new beautiful man-made bridge. The protective tape to keep the grease from getting all over yourself and the workbench. Your new push-in arm. And then underneath the cardboard should be some more hardware. A new set of trem springs and Allen wrenches and 2 new posts. Oh, there's also in this first bag a 1.5 millimeter guitar pick, which is actually a tool you're going to use, and a 2.5 millimeter wrench. So let's begin. So we've taken the strings off our guitar, and we've detached the springs already on this particular one, so we can just take this trem right out. Put it on the side. You can get rid of the existing posts because we've supplied you with 2 brand new ones. And we're just using a slot head screwdriver with the appropriate slot. We're going to take 2 of the new posts. And screw them into the approximate height. By the way, if you like the height of your existing bridge, you can measure it so that you can reset these to the same height. Maybe make your life a little simpler, whether you want the bridge floating or decked, depending on how you like your trem to work. If you're decking the bridge, you should have this at about the height 5/16 of an inch above. In millimeters, that's going to be somewhere around 9 millimeters. Sorry, 8 millimeters. And if it's floating, you want it to be 3/8 of an inch above. These should be set the same, as close as you can make them. That's a little low, so I'm going to bring it out just a little bit. 3/8 of an inch is 375 in decimal, or 6 thousandths away. $3.79 on that side. $3.65 here, so we're a little low. You want these to be exactly the same. Now you're going to put your new bridge, just drop it in the hole and put it on like that. Now when you flip it over, you're going to want to hold on to the bridge so it doesn't go flying on you. Lay it flat on the table. And then we're going to hook up our trim springs. I'm a firm believer in putting them straight across. In this case, we're going to loosen our claw a bit. And this is just an eyeball thing, and this just makes it easier to hook up your springs. Now, when we put these in, because they're kinked, we have to tap them in. So you're going to put them in, and you're going to get your hammer, and you're going to tap this down. Do that to all 4 springs. Get this one seated. That kink is there on purpose. It's so that the springs don't walk themselves out. Now we're going to hook up our springs. Sometimes they get stuck underneath. You have to get them out of the way. There we go. Okay. So you want to tighten up the claw so that the bridge is pulling up into the knife edges of the screws. With plenty of tension. So it should probably be up against the front of the cavity like that. So it'll be snug and it'll be in the knife edge. If you look, it's sitting right on the grooves of the knife edge. That's really important. And they need, like I said, the same height so that your bridge is parallel and will function correctly. Here's our guitar pick in here. What you're going to do with this guitar pick is you're going to put your trim arm in, and you're going to tip the bridge forward. You should be able to rock it on that knife edge, and you want that pick to go right underneath like that. Okay. And we're going to take the arm back out because we don't need it for right now. And the next step is to string the guitar up. Typically, when I'm setting the original action of a bridge, I'm going to just put the high E and the low E on. And I'll explain why in a minute. Okay. This guitar does not have locking tuners in it, so we need to have a couple of wraps around each post. And again, we want extra, so we go to about there, bring it in there, and we're going to pull it through, and we're going to go under it, and over it. So that as we wind the string, we're creating a lock over it. And then snip it off. So you want to tune your guitar up to pitch. Don't have to be perfect right now. Okay. So what we're going to do is take our string scale, which we sell these separately, or you can use a 6-inch rule, and you want to set your string height, high E and low E. Typically we set our low E to 90 thousandths. So this saddle has to come up a little bit. And when you're adjusting saddles, you want the saddle to be parallel, not angled, but parallel to the bridge plate. You want to just make it parallel. The only part that needs to be the radius of the fingerboard is where the string sits in the saddle slot. Okay, so now we're going to check our height again. Let's do a little low. So I want that saddle to be parallel. And you can usually tell, you can use one screw to jack it up, and then you just snug the other one up to where it should be. This is right at 90. And of course, you can adjust your string height to your personal preference. And that high E is already exactly where we want it. So we'll just make sure that the screws are in the right setting. Okay, so depending on your guitar, you want to match the radius of the saddles to the radius of your fingerboard. Fingerboard is exactly 9.5. So that is the height, the radius that we're going to match our saddles to. So all we do is we get the 9.5 up with only the 2 strings on, and now we're going to jack up all the other saddles until we're pretty much there. I'm just roughing these in. You're going to have to do this with the strings on because I can't tell exactly, but I can eyeball it and have a good idea that I'm close. It's easier to do with no tension on the saddles. And again, the saddles need to be parallel to the bridge plate, not angled. That will mess up your intonation, and it will mess up your bridge staying in tune. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at the string slots to see how we're doing. And that looks pretty close. That's a good start. So we'll string the guitar up with the rest of our strings, and then we can make a final adjustment. I like to get all my slots going straight up and down. It's parallel to the way the strings would be. Just I think makes life easier to string a guitar. I love this tool. This is from StuMac. Can't read what it is. It's a string stretcher. It's pretty cool. You put it in, put a little pressure on it, run up and down a few times. It saves a lot of wear and tear on your hands when you're doing setups all day long. What we're going to do next because we're going to do our finishing our radius adjustment. I put the guitar over my shoulder, so I'm looking straight down at it. Again, can't stress how important it is to have those saddles flat. Okay, I'm happy with that. So we have to adjust our claw tension, and then we're going to adjust the intonation. I want to do this with the guitar, tune the pitch. And for this step, it doesn't need to be perfect in tune, just pretty much relative. Pretty close. I'm going to remove the guitar from my mat here so that you can hear the next step, what's going on. At least we'll move part of it. As we're going to adjust our claw, holding the guitar vertically, and this pick is going to fall out when we reach equilibrium. You don't want to hold the strings, you want to hold the guitar vertical though. Loosen the left side, the right side, go back and forth. Half a turn, quarter of a turn, a little at a time. Ta-da! Here's another little trick that I've learned over the years is the screw on the bass side can be about a quarter of a turn further out than on the treble side. And we're going to measure this. It helps with tuning stability. That's 701 there. 734, that's about right. I always tune the guitar all the way up to pitch. Okay, close enough. And you can pick a string, high end, low end. For some reason I do the low end first, but it doesn't matter. And then you play it at the 12th fret. Pretty darn close. It's a little sharp. So if you're sharp, the saddle is too close to the 12th fret. So you want to bring it back a little bit. And it's a trial and error thing until you get it right. I like that. My guys that assemble the bridge just eyeball the intonation for you roughly, but I'm amazed how many times they're almost spot on. sharp. Again, sharp, bring the saddle further back. Look at that, they're nuts. A little bit sharp. Oh yeah, another point, when you tune your guitar, you always go from flat up. If you tune your guitar and you're sharp, bring it flat, bring it down, and then bring it up. And this is to keep backlash on the gears. Gears are only one directional. Very important to keeping your guitar in tune while you play. Even acoustically, this guitar sounds better than it did with the Fender bridge on it. Let's see how the trem works. Still in tune. Thank you. Thanks for watching.